Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. Always check for a woman's character over beauty. Yeah, that's right, I said it. And yeah, I'm the loafer brother. Let's just be clear. Yeah, and I just talked about this in a couple videos, but I wanted to go further into it because y'all know what I like. Shoot. Just came back from doing something with my co-parent and the sons and stuff, and let's just say she's a poster child for loafer, right? And very good person. But I was thinking about let me share a story, right? I remember years ago, right? Was doing something, and the sister approached me, right? I was signing books or something, and she approached me and got my card, and she called me later, right? And this sister was fine, yo. This sister was fine, like total loafer, real pretty loafer. She was intelligent. She was a member of a well-known sorority, right? And that's the only identification I'll give. But did I say she was fine? She was tall too, but totally feminine and all of that, right? But couldn't get with her. She was nice and everything, but there wasn't that click, right? And this ain't saying she had a bad character, not at all. But part of character is personality and everything. And I was like, eh. In fact, it's funny. I saw her years later when I was with, my ex-wife. And my ex-wife saw it. And she looked at me. She was like, "You didn't hit that?" I was like, "Nah." And, my point with that is, yeah, she was fine. Yeah, she had all the bells and whistles, but it wasn't that click. Now, that was a good example. That's a good example of a good person. And that happens. That's one thing, especially for the fellas. I know a lot of men, we complain about some woman that feeling us or whatever, but sometimes it just ain't there. And if it ain't there, it just ain't there. I know, many men want to say, well, she must like thugs or anything like that. Well, you know what? Bottom line is she ain't feeling you. And I don't mean to say that in a mean way, but I mean, you just got to say, okay, fine. Because as men, let's be real. And all men have probably met that one woman who they met and she was either, you just didn't feel like that click with her personality, right? Might have been a good person otherwise, real fine. You didn't feel that click with the personality. Or the scenario that happens the most, really, is when, you don't feel that click. But since she had a fat ass, though, you go for it anyway, and then you always sorry. And like I've said on several videos, I will say it again. If you want to see men who went for it anyway, even though they weren't feeling something about that woman's character, go to a family court. Go to a family court, maybe go to some jails or in jurisdictions where they lock you up for not paying child support. Shoot. Hell, in some cases, go to, get that DNA test. Because that baby you thought was yours might not be yours, but you know what? You hung in there, you saw the signs, but she had a fat ass, though. Look, there's one thing about men. We have to. Too many men, I see too many young men get in trouble just because she was fine. And older men know this. That mind got to be right. Now, it ain't a bad scenario when she just born to you. In that case, you know what? Don't just hit it anyway and stuff, but just realize, hey, you gotta think about some stuff because yeah, she can have a banging body, you just want to have sex and all of that, but the reality is every single time if you with that woman and she's talking, she's getting in your head, and if she got some dumb nonsense, that shit gonna go in your thought patterns. Seriously. Like I've said 1,000 times, A man makes love to a woman's body, but a woman makes love to a man's mind. And you can see it especially out of here with many men. If you really trace why they did something or did something stupid, it was some woman behind it. Because a slick woman, she can plant a thought in your head and you'll think it's your idea. Like a slick woman, like those really good women who are good at seduction. That's why I'm like, I filter every single word a woman says to me. She can say hi and I'm filtering. I'm like, what's the motivation behind her saying hi? Because I know how it is. That's just it. And, you know, it is what it is. I mean, if you can get a good woman who can do that, that's good. But definitely check for that woman's character, because her personality, whatever her personality is going to have a more long-term effect on you than, you know, how hard she can get your dick. Hate to put it in those terms like that, but it really does. Because if you deal with her and, okay, here's a good example, right? And this ain't necessarily mean she a bad person, but say you that type, you want to make $1 million. Like you really reaching for it, but she that type, she good at like a little bit above minimum wage. That's her mindset. A woman by nature is always going to try to pull you into what she wants. Even if she's submissive. Let me say that again. Even if she's submissive, that's just a woman's nature. A woman, well, let me get a little esoteric with y'all. The yin energy is like a vacuum. It draws to it. It's like a black hole, literally. That's just how it is. If you really look at the core of a woman, right? If you look at the reproductive process, she has an egg. It has to be fertilized. It's not going to go out and find you. It has to draw men to her. And that affects a woman's personality. So she basically, women by nature, you know, they're about themselves. And it's not saying they not mature about it or can't reach a level of maturity where they're altruistic. It just means as they get older, they ultimately still about themselves. But if they're more mature, they realize that it's in their best interest to support that man. But those are the mature ones. So it's very important for a man, just because of a woman's nature, to always be cognizant of her personality. Good, bad, whatever. Always check for that character. Never let your dick get you in trouble. See, one of the things with men, we have to learn, like this is overall, we have to learn how to discipline ourselves sexually. That's real power. If a man can control that sex drive, he has power. He has power because that's the woman's card right there. That's her card to draw you to her sexually. If she can't do that, boom, you got control. That's what pimps know. That's the core of the pimp game right there. And I'm not saying go now and practice it, because you know it takes something special to be a pimp, and you don't really need to. But you can learn something from it, because if you have that self-discipline, there's nothing you can do. But you have to have it. But you know, again, that segs into another video. But with the women, always check for that character, fellas. Always. I mean, I can't emphasize that enough. I don't care how fine she is. If you find it, let's put it like this. Here's a test of it. You dealing with any woman, ask her, and like she real fine, she real pretty, big breast, big, you know, whatever you like in a woman physically, and she got it. Ask yourself one question alone. If she didn't look like that, would you bother with her? Seriously, it's a very simple thing. Would you deal with that? If she put on 300 pounds, now, yeah, the physical attraction might be killed, but would you still be cool with it? Would you be the type to say, hey, you know what, baby, I love you, but, you know, we got to work out together. We got to deal with it. Or, you know, does she have that type of personality? Or like, say you meet her and, you know, she's not physically attractive, but would you still want to talk to her? And that's the test you got to deal with every woman. Now I know, because I was young. You still, you know, you see that but woman, you don't care. You don't care about her personality. In fact, the best thing what could happen is she just be quiet. As we know, that don't happen. So you always have to think about it. Because understand something, men, hear what I'm saying now. This is why it's very important to know what that woman's character is, really even before you have sex with her. Now, it's tough. Like I said, hey, I made my mistakes. I learned from them. There were some women barely knew them, like maybe a few hours had sex with them without really knowing much about them. I mean, so far I haven't been burnt by it. All right, and I say so far because, a little calmer now, but you never know. Like I said in the video, and I wasn't really joking, it's like I got 2 sons and there's a possibility of another child out there. And I'm just saying. So you never know when that'll hit you. But, you have to think, a man has to think about that woman's character. Because, look, all it takes is one ejaculation into her. Even if you wearing a condom, if that thing break, and according to reports, like even if you having raw sex with her and you pull out and ejaculate on her, according to reports, that's something I haven't been motivated to really study, is how true that is. Or if like with NBA players, they'll ejaculate into a condom or something and put it in. Or football players, and they'll put it in the trash. That woman will come get that thing with a turkey baster. All it takes is that one little tiny sperm. That thing you can't even see, like that one sperm that's going to get that woman pregnant. And that woman has effective control over at least 18 years of your life, probably longer. Because let's be real, if you're going to be an involved father, the shit don't stop it. You might stop paying at 18 years. But if you're going to be an involved father, that means that woman's going to be in your life one way or the other. Even if you get another woman, all of that. No matter how much you think you try to stay apart from her, you can have a restraining order. As long as you're dealing with that child, you're dealing with her. Because she influenced that child mentally. So you got to think about it. You got to think about the character of the woman you dealing with. Because, like I said, one little slip up and that's something that's affecting the rest of your life. I mean, let's just be real. It's going to affect, if you want to be an involved father. Now, if you just want to skeet and go, that's something. I don't have any respect for if you do that, but that's you. But if you want to be one of those dudes who want to, be there for their child, no matter what. And I've known dudes who sacrifice a lot, even several dudes who would live with a woman they can't stand just to be near their child. You got to think about the character of the person you dealing with. You got to think. Even really every time you have sex, you got to think, if something slip up, could I deal with this person mentality for at least another 18 years? Possibly the rest of my life. Think about it. I'm dead serious. You gotta think about it. Like I started off talking about my ex-wife. She's a great mother, and she's cool. In fact, she is still one of my biggest supporters. Seriously, biggest supporters. Now people will say, "Well, how come y'all ain't together?" We both had some growth to do, and I'll leave it at that. Because the things I know is because of the mistakes I made. So I had some issues I had to deal with, so did she. We'll leave it at that. But the thing is, her character is somebody, she has a character I can deal with the rest of my life. And that was very important, because that's how I look at a woman. I'm like, okay, regardless of what type of relationship we have, can I deal with this person? Can I talk to this person? If I'm clicking with somebody and I'm thinking, you know what, I wouldn't want to see this person outside a bedroom, and in some cases not even a bedroom, outside a living room floor, it's like, nah, I'm moving on, dog. Moving on. I ain't messing with her. Yeah, she got a fat ass though. You can sit your drink on it and whatnot, but I can't do it. Seriously, fellas, have that discipline. Get to know that character of that woman. Your seed is valuable. Your seed is valuable. In fact, the next video I'm going to do is just valuing yourself as a man, because I don't think enough men do that. And I've heard several speakers talk about it, and I think that's one of the biggest things we got to get into. So that'll be the next video. But in the meantime, for this video, always check for that woman's character. I don't care what the fuck she look like. Make sure you can have that conversation with. Make sure your personalities click. Because if you plan on taking it further with her, that person, she gonna be in your life. And I don't care what else you deal with. As soon as that pregnancy test come back positive, or she missed a period, you gonna be thinking. So anyway, right, that's it for today. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.